Are you a piece of shit boyfriend? Is your girlfriend disappointed because you've never made her a nice meal? Is Valentine's Day tomorrow and you don't have any plans? Well, I got you covered. We're making a nice Valentine's Day meal for you today. Video's gonna come out after Valentine's Day, but it doesn't need to be Valentine's Day for you to make your girlfriend a nice meal. Or boyfriend, for all the like 3% of ladies out there. Get into it. First things first, when it comes to making a nice meal, we're doing potatoes. You need Yukon Golds, I think these are. Peel them up. We're making a nice mash. The goal for a Valentine's Day meal, obviously, is to cook so much food that neither of you really feel like having sex after you eat, where you guys are both so full and bloated that you're kind of just both look at each other and you're like, you wanna? And the start of that, of course, is the potato. It's the most satiating food. Honestly, if you want to get busy tonight after eating this, don't make potatoes. Ow. Jesus Christ, I'm gonna have so many potatoes. Jesus, why do I do this to myself? Now that we got our potatoes peeled, we're gonna cut them up. Cut them into pieces about the same size. The smaller you have them, the faster they'll boil. Fellas, it's Valentine's Day, and even after Valentine's Day, buy your girlfriend some flowers. I need a reminder. Everybody needs a reminder every once in a while. You get a little complacent. Ladies love flowers. Even if your girlfriend's like, oh, I don't like flowers, they just die. Buy them for her anyways. Girls love flowers. They're like bees. Girls are like bees. They're always buzzing about something. Even when you're like, oh, I'm kind of busy right now, they're just in your ear like bzzz, just all the time. And because of that, they love flowers. It is relationship advice day. Okay, now that those are all cut up, drop them in a pan. See, look at that. That's gonna be a lot of potatoes. There's only one of me here. You got some cold water. That sounds good right now. Got some cold water here. Nope, need more. Put enough water so they're covered like that. We're gonna throw these on the big stove. And we're just gonna boil those so you can pierce them with a knife. We're looking for soft taters. The next thing we're prepping, green beans. You gotta have a green on your plate or your girlfriend's gonna be like, this isn't a meal. So, green beans, they're nice, they're hearty, they look good on your plate. We're gonna steam them and then we're gonna saute them. My trick for steaming vegetables, pretty simple. Have a steaming basket, but I don't like to clean it. So you just put them in the pan and put just a little bit of water in it. Just enough so they're not really covered. Then we're gonna tent these with tin foil. Okay, now that they're tented, these are ready to go on the stove. Next up, we got our steak. Everybody makes how to cook a steak videos. It's the most internet slop cooking video you can make. That being said, I am no better, but I got a filet here. I've never cooked a filet. I don't even really think I've ever had filet mignon, so that's why I got this. I was gonna do like braised short ribs as like a fun, like, oh, here's something different to cook, but that takes like 2 hours to cook and I don't have time for that. So I guess almost only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. So we got a filet, nice small tender cut of meat here. We're gonna just season this liberally with salt, both sides. Press it in, make sure the sides are all seasoned. So we got our steak seasoned. I need salt, pepper, garlic powder. The garlic powder and the pepper always burn whenever I cook a steak. So we're just keeping it simple and we're gonna just salt it beforehand. Yeah, I know you're supposed to let steak sit for a while before cooking and let the salt get really deep in there. I don't have time for that today. We got our stainless steel pan. You know, I said last time I'm in the pocket of big Teflon, but stainless steel is great for cooking a steak. Stainless steel is like a long, serious relationship. You know, Teflon might be a nice one-time fling or like a friends with benefits situationship type of thing where, you know, it's fun for a while, but eventually it gets kind of worn out and you got to throw it away. Stainless steel, on the other hand, is a 3-year-long relationship where you guys are living together. You know, sometimes you annoy each other, or you take a long time to heat up, or you don't clean up after it because it's kind of a pain to clean up after, and then eventually you're like, okay, time to clean up, and it may take a little bit more time to clean, but you know it's going to be there for you in the long run. I don't know what I'm saying. All I'm saying is these can be a bitch and a half to clean sometimes. That's kind of what a long-term relationship's like. Stainless steel, it is reliable, it's always there, gonna last you a long time. I don't know what the f I'm saying here. get this preheated. And while we're doing that, we're letting our steak sit, get all that salt absorbed into it. I know I always reference the fucking guy. Pan on, high end and medium low. What the fuck does that mean? The steel pan people are like a cult also. It's like, if you use anything other than that, it's like, oh, go to hell. I don't care. I've used the shittiest pans for most of my cooking life, and you know, I've been able to make some pretty decent meals with them. You don't need stainless steel. Also, like, they're always like, how to make stainless steel not stick. You can't. Shocking. We are gonna do the test. Not quite ready yet. It's almost ready. This does make a big difference to do it, because I want to be the guy that's like, you don't have to do get the pan hot or whatever. But I've been cooking with stainless steel for a while, and it genuinely helps. And I really wanted it to not, because I hate all of the people that are obsessed with stainless steel and are like, you have to. I hate method. I've barbecued. I've done all that. And it pisses me off so much when they're like, here's how you do the glide method. Here's the 3-2-1 method for smoking ribs. Here's the snake method for doing charcoal. And it just pisses me off to no end. It's like, it's not a method, dude. It's just a way to cook. I guess you could say that's method, but there's all these like rules. Here is, if you don't follow the rules, you're doing it wrong. That side of the pan's not getting quite as hot. Not to be like a pretentious dork here, but isn't cooking like an art form? And as soon as you start adding rules to it, and yeah, I know art has rules and you gotta break the rules, but it just is lame. It's lame. Following rules is lame. And if you're sitting here telling me that I'm so wrong for, you know, not preheating my oven when I put a frozen pizza in, it comes out the same. But the glide method, if you can call it that, really does make a big difference when it comes to cooking steak, at least. Put some oil in the pan. Then we're gonna pat our steak dry. This also crucial. This is how you get a good sear on your steak. Again, I would like to be the guy to tell you that it doesn't matter, but it does, unfortunately. Get it as dry as you can. Take it, lay it in there, press on it so it's nice even contact with the pan. Then we just let it sit. Get a nice sear on it. Maybe to up the heat just a bit. Keep pressing. Make sure everything is nice and contacted with the pan. That's another thing that dork taught me about cooking with stainless steel. There is like tricks to it. There's things that once you figure it out, it makes it way easier to cook with. Steel pan fella said the meat will tell you when it's ready to be flipped. As soon as it stops sticking to the pan is when you flip, and that's a great piece of advice. Like that, it's stuck. It's still sticking to the pan. It's all right. Let it sit. Let it sear. Move the oil around. Yeah, dude, Valentine's Day. I was never that big of a fan of Valentine's Day. It's for sure a girl holiday, you know, and as I've aged, I've been like, okay, there is some truth to the happy wife, happy life adage, where it's like, dude, if your girlfriend wants you to do something on Valentine's Day, and even if it is a fucking made-up holiday that's to sell like shitty chocolate or roses, Big Rose really capitalized with Valentine's Day because they captured the heart of women. Look at that. See? It's unstuck, and we're flipping it. Look at that nice crust on that. Hopefully my smoke alarms don't go off. If your girlfriend wants you to do something for Valentine's Day, and you're like, Valentine's Day's stupid, just know you're right, but just do it anyways, dude. It's okay. You're allowed to do you don't want to do. And sometimes you have to. Look at that crust. This is going to be a delightful steak. I can already feel it. Potatoes are done. We're just going to strain them. Keep the other side. Nice crust on there. We're going to kill the heat for a minute, let the pan cool off. And we're going to do the butter basting. And usually I'm not a big fan of butter basting. I think it's more work than it's worth. But if you're cooking for your lady, it's a flashy move that everybody thinks is cool. Now, if you're in the kitchen with her, if she's watching you cook and you start pulling out this move, she's going to be like, wow, he knows how to cook. And you'll be like, yeah, I do, even though this is a very impractical way of cooking. I don't know what I'm saying here. Cooking for your lady is supposed to be about, like, it's like dinner and a show for her. I'm not a woman, but I can imagine a woman thinking that a man cooking for her is kind of a sexy thing. And if you want to be a sexy guy, which I am not a sexy guy, never have been, never claimed to be, but if you want to be considered sexy, you start flexing your forearms a little bit, and you just kind of do this, and you stare at her in the eyes, and you say, you're my world. She's gonna be fawning, dude. This is a panty dropper of a cooking move. The butter's browning. I don't know if that's a good thing or if I'm just burning it, but either way, chances are neither of you really know what good cooking is, so who gives a We're gonna put this on a plate just for it to rest. Take some of that butter, pour it over it, and just let it hang out. This is where you really start to get fancy. You make a pan sauce for her. If you make a sauce for a lady, she's gonna be like, holy shit, I've hit the jackpot. You got some shallots going on. You can use onions, you can use garlic. But again, it's Valentine's Day. And if you pull out shallots for a lady, she's gonna be like, holy shit, I've never seen anything other than an onion before. And you're gonna be like, yeah, only the finest for you. Saute these up, get them nice and brown. Smells awesome already. Those have been sauteed. And we got some red wine. Pour it in the pan, about that much. We're gonna reduce the hell out of this. This is a decadent meal we're cooking. Oh, also, I forgot, we're gonna hit the steak with some pepper, because I forgot to do that when it came off. Keep it moving, you don't want the wine to burn. Dude, pan sauces, it's a nice way to spice up a regular meal. It's like handcuffs in the bedroom. Your just regular steak and potatoes is getting kind of old. Your regular In-N-Out missionary is getting kind of old. Make a little pan sauce for it. It makes a difference. You know, spice it up a little. Keep it fresh. Pan sauces do that. You can make this with white wine. You can make this with beer. It's not very good with beer. I tried to make a Miller High Life reduction one time. Not great. Gonna kill the heat now that you can kind of see the pan. Another way to tell, it coats the back of a spoon. It needs a little bit longer. I lied. I'm gonna add some more wine in here, I think. Also, girls love sauce. Am I the only one with a girlfriend who's like, you'll go to a place and she always has a sauce, and then like she's like, I need a side of ranch with my fries. I'm like, ketchup not good enough for you? Or like at home, it'll be like, I'll make chicken tenders in the air fryer. She'll get her plate, and then she'll put like ketchup, mustard, honey mustard, some weird Chipotle Taco Bell sauce. I'm a one sauce kind of fella. In the case that your girlfriend tends to be a, pardon my language, a saucy. Redacted. Don't call your girlfriend a redacted ever, but if she's a saucy, redacted, then make some more sauce than you think you would. This reduces down a lot. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. Check it with the spoon. See that? Clear. Here's the key to an easy pan sauce. Heavy whipping cream. You can use butter, but I find this works so much easier than butter. So I just tend to use a little bit of this. The other thing that I've used in the past is Dijon mustard. It adds a nice little flavor to it. Look at that. There's your pan sauce. Give it a taste, see if it needs anything. Now we're dealing with our green beans. We got them all steamed up here, you see, perfectly fine. A little olive oil in the pan. And this is about the only place that I'm cheaping out on this meal. I got garlic. Peeling and cutting garlic is a pain in the ass, and I didn't really feel like doing it today. We're just gonna take a nice scoop of garlic, get a nice saute, drop the green beans in, toss them around, let them sit. We're looking for color on these. This is where the multitasking comes in. We got our potatoes. While those are cooking, we're gonna add a bit of heavy cream in those. If you have a potato ricer, now is the time to use it. Get them nice and smooth. If not, potato masher works fine. Saute these, keep them moving, mash them around, add some more half and half if you need, or heavy cream. We're gonna hit pepper, big pinch of salt for these. Mash them up like you mash down the feelings of insecurity at the beginning of a relationship. Those are good. Now we just gotta finish up these. Okay, those are done. Now let's assemble. I'm not good at plating, but it's fun to try to make things look pretty. Here, we're gonna take our potatoes, get a nice scoop of them, try to make them look as good as they can. This is my attempt at making nice plating. If you're following with me, don't laugh. Get a nice scoop of potatoes. Even it out, smooth it out. Clean up the plate as we go. Get that, take a scoop for yourself. Now we take our green beans. They're kind of turned to mush. I might have overcooked them a bit. That's all right. I'm gonna put them on the side, actually. I f***ed this up already. Get them all cohesive. This is going swimmingly. Plating, terrible. Now we got our filet. Pick a side. They're both, the crust, it doesn't look like the crust is good, but it's good. Layer it on there. On the top of the potatoes, I guess. Finally, our sauce. Thickened up as it's cooled down. I used far too many shallots, but that's okay. They taste good. Cover the steak so that nobody sees how bad your crust is. Final cleanup of the plate. Maybe. There you have it. Valentine's Day dinner. Let's give this a try. Beans, far too soft. Steak, it's actually cooked fairly well, if you can see that, if the lighting's not bad. A solid medium. It's tender though. Tender. There's a good crust on it, surprisingly. And the potatoes. Everything's kind of cold. Got to work on the timing of this stuff. But it tastes delicious. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. Take your girlfriend out to eat.